And hello and welcome back to Cal Poly Pomona, Scolinos Field. That's where Inland Valley Baseball, both the Pirates and Buccaneers, call home. We are getting set for Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Pirates and Heat. If you're just joining us in Game 1, the Pirates won 4-2, scored 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and then the Heat got a couple later on in the seventh inning. The man who closed it down, Jordan Shefts, is the man who will start here in Game 2 for the Pirates, as we are just about getting set for our second game here. Really, two of the most noteworthy players of that game were the starting pitcher, Michael Koval, who went 6 1/3, 12 strikeouts, and obviously really shut down the Heat for the most part. In fact, he had a streak of 12 consecutive hitters retired in that game. Meanwhile, hitting-wise, you'd have to say that it was definitely Fernando Escobar. Escobar had 2 RBI base hits and also scored 2 runs. So he was a part of all 4 runs scored in that game for the Pirates. So Escobar and Koval certainly the players of the game in Game 1 of the doubleheader. We'll see how far Jordan Shefts goes in Game 2, but he might be one of the players of the day, having to close out the first game and now start the second game. And we are just about set for opening pitch, and here it comes. First pitch is high for ball 1, 1-0 the count. We'll give you the defensive arrangement for the Pirates very shortly and the Heat lineup right now. Connor Garrison is leading off at short, so he's leading off again. Then it's Josh Alonso in left batting second. Ronnie Leon at third batting third. In the cleanup spot is Sergio Lujan. Then Sean Smith batting fifth. Here comes the pitch, and it misses high for a ball. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Jack Collinsworth. Batting seventh is Curtis Cloak, the catcher. Johnny Lanter, the right fielder, batting eighth. And last but not least, Chavez, the second baseman, is batting ninth. Here is the defense for the Inland Valley Pirates for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Pitch from Shefts in there for a called strike. Going left to right across the outfield, we've got Matthew Reynoso, Bernardi, and Cherry. This one is swung and fouled straight back. So, 2-strike pitch here for Connor Garrison. Garrison actually shifting over from second to short. If you do recall, he really struggled in the field in that first game. 3 errors. This one is lined over to the right side and Channing Varela, and Varela can't handle it. And the leadoff man is on board here for the High Desert Heat. Well, if you remember, back in the first game, the leadoff man reached base both in the first and second inning for the Heat against Koval. And then Koval retired the next 3 hitters. Let's see if Jordan Shefts can do the same thing here as Josh Alonso steps up to the plate. Alonso is an SCCBL veteran here in his 3rd year in the SCCBL, playing for 3 different teams. Once the first pitch, he sees fouled on the first base line, and it's 0-1. It is a sacrifice bunt situation. You get the leadoff man on and you want to move him over in the scoring position. But that didn't look like it was much of a sacrifice bunt. It was a push bunt that it looked like Alonso might be trying to beat it out for a hit. Shefts comes set. Late kick and fires. Nice breaking pitch called, strike 2, and it's 0-2 here. Going left to right across the infield, we've got Anthony Virgin, Greg Espinosa, Channing Varela, Alec Morabito, and Dylan Lowenstein behind home plate. This one is lined in the left field for a base hit. So now the first 2 men are on base here for the Heat in Game 2 of this doubleheader. We were talking about how Josh Alonso, who just had the single, was on 3 different teams in the SCCBL. Well, the other 2 teams he played for are now defunct. Played for the LA Thrashers 2 years ago. And he played for the Riverside Rebels last season before coming here to the High Desert Heat this year. Here's Ronnie Leon, the switch hitter for the High Desert Heat. He's batting lefty right here against the right-handed pitcher, Shefts. 2 men on, no outs, top of the first inning. Swings right back at the pitcher, and Shefts can't handle it, so he'll have to go to first base and record the out there. As both runners advance in the scoring position now. It was obviously hit hard back to Shefts, but if he could have fielded it cleanly, it looked like it would have really been a tailor-made double play had he thrown it to second base, and then they turn it. But they do get that first out here, and up comes Sergio Lujan, the cleanup hitter. So 2 men on, 1 out, top of the first inning. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Swung and missed in his own 1. Fastball by Chefs. Sergio Lujan is one of the guys that played for Jesus Beltran at Victor Valley College. This one swung and fell out of play, and it's now 0-2 here for Sergio Lujan, 6'5", 245. You mentioned playing for Victor Valley, where he hit 289 this past season as a sophomore for Jesus Beltran, his manager. Swung on and missed, blown by the hitter by Jordan Chefs. And so that is the second out, and a huge strikeout right there with 2 runners in scoring position. And now you can just get the ground ball or whatever to get out of this inning unscathed, hopefully, if you're the Inland Valley Pirates. Chefs fires, fastball swung, a high fly ball to center field, straightaway center field. Jacob Bernardi has it under control and makes the catch. So the side is retired here in the first inning, and at the end of 1/2 inning of play, it's a scoreless tie between the Heat and Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, we'll get you the batting order for the Pirates as well as the defensive alignment for the Heat very shortly. The starting pitcher for the Heat will be Josh Garcia, 5'11", 170-pound right-handed pitcher from Arizona Christian, where he'll be a junior next year. Hometown Moreno Valley, and went to Vista del Lago High School. Starting lineup for the Pirates. Leading off is Matt Reynoso, batting second. Varela batting third. The DH, Garlick. The cleanup hitter will be Bryce Cherry. Batting fifth is Espinosa, the shortstop. Batting sixth, Anthony Virgin. Seventh is Bernardi. Eighth, Morabito. And scoring around and trying to bunt for a hit is Reynoso, but it's foul. And it's now 0-1 to him. And last but not least, the catcher Dylan Lowenstein is batting in the number 9 spot. Meanwhile, for the Heat, this is what their defense looks like. It's Alonzo Smith and Lanter in the outfield going left to right. And then going left to right in the infield, you've got Leon, Garrison, Chavez, Lujan, and Cloak behind the plate. As we're having a little bit of a delay for the catcher, who was hit by the foul ball. He's kind of trying to walk it off. Of course, we are so glad that you are joining us for this doubleheader, an SCCBL doubleheader against the Heat. Pirates winning 2 of the first 3 this season. Love nothing more than to take this one and win the season series 3-1. This one misses high for ball to Reynoso. That's what the Inland Valley Pirates did last year. They won 3 out of 4 from the Heat last season. So hoping to duplicate that here this year. Breaking pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-1. So the Pirates 5-2 overall against the Heat in 2 years these two teams have been playing each other. Here's the pitch, fastball. Checks his swing and is low. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. And now it's not 3-1 because it's 2-2 because Jesus Beltran, the manager, asked the home plate umpire to appeal down to first base, and the first base ump said it was a swing. So here comes the 2-2 to number 2-2, and he fouls it back at the screen. So we'll do it again. Another 2-2 to come. 6th pitch of the at-bat here for Matthew Reynoso. Bottom of the first inning, just underway here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Swung on and missed, strike 3, down goes Reynoso. Here comes Channing Varela. Varela, the second baseman, hitting .231 so far this season with the Pirates. Varela's 5'9", 170, a right-handed hitter from Riverside City College. He'll be a sophomore there next year. Hometown is Chino, went to Chino High School. So 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning, no score yet. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Pirates improving to 9-4 after the first game in league play with the win. 18-5 overall, swung and missed, and that is now a 1-1 count here for Channing Varela. Really, if you're the Pirates, you want to get that 10th win here today and try to put a little bit of pressure on the Power. Swung on, and towering fly ball. It's in foul territory. Will the first baseman be able to make the play? No, Sergio Lujan can't get there in time. That's the second time we've seen that in the doubleheader, where there was a fly ball hit near that first base dugout, and Sergio Lujan couldn't make it there in time. Of course, the Pirates are in the first base dugout, as always, and the visiting team in the third base dugout. Normally it's the reverse. This one swung on and lined in left field, and it's just foul. Ooh, Channing Varela would have had a sure double if that was fair. And he jumped on that pitch. Tried to pull it down the left field line, but just slicing foul. High Desert Heat, they really need to win this game if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. We talked about it when they were playing the Bucks. This one misses low. Maybe not as much in game one here against the Pirates, but really this High Desert Heat roster is much improved from last season. Here's the 2-2. Swung and bounced up the middle, and that'll be a base hit for Channing Varela. So the Pirates have their first man on board here in the bottom of the first inning in the form of Varela with that single up the middle. Here comes Kyle Garlick. This is Garlick's third game of the season. His second game was played earlier today, and his first one was on Monday against the Buccaneers. He is from the University of Oregon, where he played the last 3 seasons, has 1 year of eligibility left, and will be transferring here to Cal Poly Pomona. Garcia comes set, fires. Fastball swung and lined into left field for a base hit. So 2 hits in a row here for the Pirates as Varela made a really hard turn around second base and almost looked like he was going to third, but normally you don't try to advance on a line drive to the left field all the way up until third base. Now you have 2 men on board here with 1 out for the Pirates. Here comes Bryce Cherry, the cleanup hitter. He's batting .276 on the season, .382 on base percentage. One of 4 San Francisco State Gators on the team. First pitch to him is in there at the knees for called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Of course, another San Francisco State Gator on this team is Fernando Escobar, who came up huge in the first game. Line drive into left center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Channing Varela as the Pirates take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning of Game 2 in this doubleheader. We were talking about it in between games that we figured to see Adam Quintana going against Andrew Alvarez, but Jordan Sheff starting this game. And we still figured to see Alvarez a little bit later in this game, I would imagine. But Adam Quintana not starting, and the Pirates get 1 quick run. First pitch swung and fouled by Greg Espinosa. So it's 0-1 here to Greg. Greg is leading the team in runs with 12. Also hitting .356 and has a .431 on base percentage. So Greg Espinosa has been very, very good this season for the men in red. Probably his best day of the season came last Monday. Squaring around and trying to lay it down, but foul is Espinosa. Last Monday, when the Pirates played the Power in a doubleheader, Greg Espinosa went 5 for 7 in the doubleheader. And obviously that's against really good pitching. In that game, in those 2 games, I should say, they threw out a University of Southern California pitcher, San Diego State pitcher, an Arizona pitcher, and Santa Clara pitcher, so they had 4 D1 pitchers there. Fastball in the dirt, 59-footer, and a nice job reading that pitch by Kyle Garlick, who now advances to third base. Bryce Cherry staying put at first. So there's runners on the corner with 1 out and 1 run in here in the bottom of the first inning. Pirates hoping to score as many runs as they can before Adam Quintana gets in the game, and I believe that is Quintana now getting ready, wearing number 15 for the Heat. And this one was fouled. Oh, I thought it hit off Espinosa's wrist. And Charlie Reynoso down the third base line looks surprised to hear it was a foul. And he's kind of asking Greg, and Greg's laughing about it. So I guess it really did hit off maybe the knob of his bat. And now he's having a little bit of a discourse with the home plate umpire. And is 1-2 here to Greg Espinosa. 1-0 the score. Pirates on top. Bottom of the first inning. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fastball lined into right center field, and that will get down for a base hit. Scoring on the play is Garlick, and Cherry will be held up at second base. And it's now 2-0 Pirates here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. And this is exactly what you wanted if you were Inland Valley, because we talked about how good Adam Quintana has been over the years, and a couple years ago he's the pitcher of the year, and he has certainly shown ace stuff, but he wasn't here, I guess, early enough, as he will now, I assume, head out into the bullpen and start loosening up. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch in there for called, strike 1. And it's 0-1 here to Anthony Virgin. On deck is Jacob Bernardi. This one is singled through the left side hole for another base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Bryce Cherry. The throw to the plate is in time, but it's down the line a little bit, and Cherry slides in safely for the third Pirates run here in the bottom of the first inning. 3-0 the score, as the Pirates are stringing together a bunch of hits in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in a row. Wow. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. The Pirates leading 3-0 already in the bottom of the first inning. And you certainly missed a lot if you missed the first game as well, which the Pirates won 4-2. First pitch is swung on and missed by Bernardi, and it's 0-1 here to Jacob. Time is called for by the catcher, who now comes out to give his pitcher maybe a little bit of words of advice. But what you missed was Channing Varela, he singles. Then Kyle Garlick, he singles. Bryce Cherry, RBI single. Greg Espinosa, RBI single. Anthony Virgin, RBI double. And it's 3-0. Pirates. Fastball on the outside corner, called a strike. So that's strike 2 here to Jacob Bernardi in his own 2. Pirates looking to maybe potentially hit through the lineup in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. The ball gets past the pitcher, and in comes Greg Espinosa to the score. The runner at third base will be thrown out, though. Anthony Virgin thrown out at third. And it is 4-0 Pirates on top of the Heat in the bottom of the first inning. And that is something really you can't afford to have if you're the High Desert Heat. And really, you need this game if you want to stay in the playoff hunt. You're 3-6. You need to win this game to be 4-6. If you fall to 3-7 and you still have 4 games against the Power, it's going to be very hard to get back in this game. This is a line drive base hit in the left field by Jacob Bernardi. And so another hit for the Pirates. 6 in a row. Wow. Here comes Alec Morabito, and he is the number 8 hitter in the lineup, so just 2 more hitters for the Pirates to bat through the lineup, but I think they'll settle with what's happened so far, and 6 consecutive hits and 4 runs. Bernardi off with the pitch, fastball in the outside corner, called a strike. Bernardi sliding in foot first, safe. So that'll be a stolen bag there for Jacob. As Alec Morabito, the left-handed hitter, remains in the batter's box. 6'0", 170 pounds. From Cal Baptist, where he is a business administration major. This one misses low and in for ball one, and it's 1-1. Morabito hitting .235 on the season, 4 RBIs and 9 runs scored for the Pirates. One of 17 returning members for Inland Valley. Ooh, fastball way overthrown in the dirt, and that's a wild pitch. And Jacob Bernardi advances 90 feet into third base. So the Pirates now hoping to get another run in this inning, as there's a lot of laughter in the dugout. This is actually something that's kind of happened to the Buccaneers when they played the league doubleheader on a Saturday. Pirates took game one and then jumped out to a 5-0 lead in game two. Seemed like it was over from there on out. Line drive in the left center field by Alec Morabito. Another base hit for the Pirates and another run scored, as it's now 5-0. A big banana cut around first by Morabito, and he had to head back to first, head first. But he's still safe. And what an inning for the Pirates. 7 consecutive base hits. Wow. Here comes Dylan Lowenstein. This is the number 9 hitter in the lineup, so they have hit through the lineup. And the throw down to second base, not in time. Stolen base right there for Alec Morabito. I mean, you look at it, it's crazy. Channing Varela singled and scored. Kyle Garlick singled and scored. Bryce Cherry singled and had an RBI and scored. Greg Espinoza, RBI single and scored. This one swung on and lifted into the left side. One hopper for the shortstop, who fires but can't make the play. The ball gets away from Sergio Lujan. Alec Morabito rounding third and coming home to score. Another run here for the Pirates as he kind of holds his left hamstring. I'm not sure if he hurt himself there. But now the Pirates are sending up their 10th man in the inning. Here comes Matthew Reynoso again. So Morabito scores on the error. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike one. And the error was made by Connor Garrison, the shortstop, who made 3 errors in the first game, so now has 4 for the day. He shifted from second to short. Breaking pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed by Reynoso. Throw down to second is nowhere near second base, as Dylan Lowenstein advances on the wild pitch. And this is obviously very tough if you're the High Desert Heat, because you had an ace that you thought that maybe, was going to go probably 7-8 innings and was going to maybe hold the Pirates in check. And for whatever reason, he just didn't seem to make it here on time. And the Pirates are scoring all these runs just in the first inning. It's still the first inning. 1-2 the score, or 1-2 the count, I should say. 6 runs in after 7 consecutive hits. And this one is swung. It's a fly ball lifted down the right field line. It's foul. Right fielder chasing a long way out there is Lanter, but can't get there on time. So we'll do it again. Another 1-2 pitch to come here for Matthew Reynoso. Of course, Matthew Reynoso is the nephew of the manager, Charlie, who is grinning from ear to ear down the third base line after this first inning. Matthew also, of course, playing with his 2 cousins on this team, Aaron and Johnny. Breaking pitch, swung on, ground ball over to the left side. Charging is the shortstop, Garrison, and he won't be able to make the play on time. That is an infield base hit for Reynoso, and this inning continues. So up comes Channing Varela, the number 2 hitter, for the second time in the first inning. This is unbelievable, really. This is just incredible, this start for the Pirates against the Heat in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Runners off, that's Reynoso, and it's called strike one, and they won't even throw down to second base, so Matthew Reynoso steals second. And there's 2 runners in scoring position. Fastball swung and lined through the left side. Another run comes home to score. Here comes Lowenstein. Reynoso rounding third. Throw to the plate is high and gets past the catcher. 2 more runs. It's 8-0. Now rounding second and headed to third is Varela. And the Pirates, they're up 8-0 in the first inning. Wow. This is just unbelievable after the first game. The way it went, it was very, very well played. Good pitching from both sides. And then in this game, you have one of the aces of this league who you thought was going to start. But as we mentioned, we keep going back to this. He, for some reason, just wasn't here on time. He's warming up in the bullpen right now down the third base line. But it doesn't really matter. And I don't even know if you want to even use him. And that's another line drive base hit for the Pirates. And it's 9-0 in the first inning. And the next guy is out no matter what. The umpire just said the next guy is out no matter what. That is where we are right now. I just can't even believe, like, what is the recap going to look like for the first inning? First pitch is outside for ball one. 1-0 the count. Holy cow. This has just been unbelievable. 9-0 the score. Bottom of the first inning. High and away for ball 2. I mean, if you're the Heat and you just heard the next hitter is out no matter what, I think you might just walk him. You just don't want to give up another hit. 2-1 the count as this one catches the outside corner for Bryce Cherry. This has just been an unbelievable first inning. And it's now 3-1. Hitters pitch to come. And there's been many hitters' pitches in this first inning as they have just knocked the ball all over the yard. And the Pirates lead 9-0. Fastball, bounce to the right side over towards the second baseman. He throws to first, and they make the play. They retire Bryce Cherry there. But the damage was certainly done. I mean, you talk about the damage being done after maybe a 2-run or a 3-run inning. This is a 9-run first inning. Unbelievable. And we'll head to the top of the second. The score 9-0 Pirates. Well, that first inning was so crazy that my computer doesn't even want to play music in between innings. 9-0 the score. Unbelievable. Jordan Sheff's out. First pitch swung on and bounced. 2-hopper over to the first baseman, Alec Morabito, who steps on the bag for the 3 unassisted put out. So 1 up and 1 down here in the second inning. Wow, I mean, it's unbelievable what's occurred here with a 9-run first inning. And if you remember back in the first, the top of the first, nice breaking pitch called a strike, and it's 0-1. The Pirates were in a little bit of a jam. It was second and third, 1 out for Jordan Sheffs. Fastball swung on and fouled down the third base line, 0-2. But then he got the big out against the cleanup hitter. He struck out Sergio Lujan on a fastball that he basically just blew right by the cleanup hitter. Fastball outside, and it's 1-2 here for Sheffs. Then he got the fly ball out by Sean Smith to center field. There's a routine fly ball out there. Breaking pitch swung on, grounded to the left side over towards the third baseman. Virgin fires on the 1 hop, and a nice dig made by Morabito at first to retire Curtis Cloak. So 5-3 on that put out. And up comes Johnny Lanter. I mean, it's unbelievable. You hit through that many guys. I mean, I can't get over the fact that that many players even hit in an inning. You had 13 guys up in that last inning, and you scored 9 runs. This one misses inside for a ball. Late kicking, here's the pitch from Sheff's fastball outside for another ball as the ball gets by Lowenstein. And the on-deck hitter, Chavez, will pick the baseball up. Well, I mean, the Heat are in the third inning, and Chavez hasn't even taken an at-bat. The Pirates in the first inning had 4 guys take 2. This is a fly ball out to shallow center field. The shortstop calling for it and makes the play. That is Greg Espinosa, about maybe 2 or 3 feet on the outfield grass. And so 3 up, 3 down in quick fashion. As long as the last inning was, that's how quick this one is. And we'll head to the bottom of the second inning in a 9-0 ball game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us here for both games of this doubleheader. Well, the first game was about what we expected in the sense that it was a very competitive, close game, 4-2 the final score. Very good pitching from both sides. Obviously, starting Michael Koval, 6 1/3 in that game, 12 strikeouts, and then Jordan Sheffs closing it down, and actually starting this game off as well, pitching very well here in Game 2. But that's what we expected, and we expected something really good here in this second game because Adam Quintana is now on the mound, and he was a pitcher that we were talking about as the pitcher of the year going back 2 years ago. But for whatever reason, and we keep harping on this, but it's what happened, for whatever reason, he couldn't be here for the first inning of Game 2. And the Pirates score 9 runs, and this is a line drive into right field for a base hit by Greg Espinosa. So more of the same here for the Pirates, as the first pitch that Espinosa sees against Quintana is lined for a base hit into right field. Well, that first inning, you had 7 consecutive base hits. Then Lowenstein had a ball that he beat out, which was a borderline hit error. This one misses low for a ball. 1-0 the count here to Anthony Version. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI double. Then you had Reynoso get a single, an infield single, and Varela had the RBI double, and Garlick had another hit. What's amazing is if you look at this, Channing Varela and Kyle Garlick each had 2 hits in the first inning. I mean, you don't see that very often. And Channing Varela actually scored twice in the first inning. Off-speed pitch called a strike here to Anthony Vergen. Well, Charlie Reynoso said before the beginning of Game 2 that we definitely want to try to jump out to a few runs early. And they didn't just jump out to a few runs. They jumped out to 9. 10 hits in the first inning alone. Here's the pitch, and this hits off the left arm of Vergen. And so the first 2 runners reach base here against Adam Quintana. And for Quintana, I mean, it's almost like kind of a letdown. You come on the mound in the second inning and your team's down 9-0. There's probably no way that your team can come back no matter what you do, no matter how well you pitch. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball, low for ball. Here's Jacob Bernardi. He is 1 for 1, singled and scored. Stole second base as well in that first plate appearance back in the first inning. Nice breaking pitch in there for called strike 2, and it's a 2-strike count here to Bernardi as the Pirates have put up a 9 spot in the first inning and lead 9-0 here in the bottom of the second. Fastball swung and foul back behind home plate. Quintana checks the runner at second. Nobody holding him on. This is a ground ball to the left side over towards the shortstop, who fires to second. And they try to complete the double play but can't. So they got the force at second, which is the first out here this inning. Bernardi reaches on the fielder's choice. And there are now runners on the corners here for Alec Morabito. Morabito, 1 for 1, RBI single, and scored. got to be tough to just be in the dugout and just know after you fall behind 9-0, you still have 8 innings to play, and you know there's pretty much nothing you can do, especially considering how good the Pirates' pitching is. Runners on the corners, 1 out, 9-0 to score. Pirates on top, bottom of the second inning. This pitch misses for a ball to Alec Morabito. Morabito coming into today, hitting .235. Obviously, that has raised so far because he is 1 for 1 right now. On deck is Lowenstein, the catcher. And this one's called a strike on the inside. Well, the number 9 hitter is going to come up for the second time in just the second inning. That's how well things have gone for the Pirates here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Fastball swung and line foul down the third base line and out of play. You talk about a nice response after losing 11-2 to the Buccaneers. To come back here today to win a good, tough-fought game in Game 1 and then to just make Game 2 a laugher. That is obviously a great job by the Pirates. Of course, the Pirates now 9-4 and looking like it's definitely going to end up being 10-4. That's a very important number to post. Tana fires, fastball swung and missed, strike 3. Down goes Morabito for the second out of this inning. And up comes Dylan Lowenstein, the catcher. We almost wonder what Charlie Reynoso is going to do now in terms of the pitching situation. First of all, you're just wondering how long Jordan Shefts is going to go in general. Secondly, you're wondering, is Andrew Alvarez even going to take the mound today? I mean, do you really want to waste him or use him when you're up 9-0? As this one misses high and in for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Lowenstein. Of course, the Pirates are off for 6 days, I believe. Yeah, they're off for 6 days after this. Next game is not until next Tuesday. So maybe you'll just throw Alvarez a couple innings and just kind of keep his arm in shape, in form, as this one misses for a ball. But I assume that we're going to see a lot of guys going probably 2 innings or so from now on, the rest of this game. Fastball misses inside for another ball from Quintana. Quintana checks the runner at first, working out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called the strike. Taking all the way on that 3-0 pitch was Dylan Lowenstein. So it's now 3-1. Here's the pitch. Nice breaking pitch in there for strike 2. And it's 3-2. Full count. Runners on the corners. 2 outs. Just 1 out. Oh, there's 2 outs, sorry. Kind of lose track when so many runs are being scored. Broken bat, shattered bat. That'll get over towards Quintana. He backhands it and fires the first and retires the side here on the 1-3 put out. And it's now still 9-0 at the end of 2 innings. The Pirates are leading. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. The day is over for Jordan Shefts after 2 innings in Game 2. Of course, coming in relief in Game 1 as well. Through 3 2/3 there. So 5 2/3 altogether for Jordan Shefts. Here is Ryan Romero. So Ryan Romero on the bump here. First pitch misses low for a ball, and it's 1-0. Romero, 6'5", 190-pound right-handed pitcher. Fires this one high and away. We were talking about the 4 San Francisco State Gators on the team. He is one of the 4. We were talking about that when Bryce Cherry was batting. Swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate. Of course, Cherry is one of the 4, as is Romero and Escobar. And the 4th one is Corey Davis, a normally relief pitcher, but he hasn't been here in quite some time for the Pirates. Here's the pitch from Romero. Fastball low for a ball. This past season at San Francisco State, he made 13 appearances, 5.29 ERA for them, and walks the first hitter he sees. That's Chavez. Chavez, leadoff walk here in the 3rd inning. And up comes Mitch Booman. So Booman replacing Connor Garrison. So I think enough was enough for Jesus Beltran. After seeing the 4th error of the day, he takes out Garrison and puts in Booman. And the first pitch is foul tipped, and it's 0-1 here. Ryan Romero, one of the few guys on the Pirates that doesn't or isn't from the Southern California area. He's from Nampa, Idaho, went to Columbia High School out there, and was the 4A Southern Idaho Conference Player of the Year his senior year at high school. This one on the outside corner, called a strike. He also played on the Fullerton College team a couple years ago that went to the JC State Championship and finished as the runner-up. Breaking pitch in the dirt, stopped by Lowenstein. He and Fernando Escobar both did that, both playing for Fullerton College and then going to San Francisco State. This one misses low and away for a ball. Romero's favorites are the Dodgers, and his favorite player ever is Nolan Ryan. 2-2 the count here for Romero. Checks the runner. The runner's off very early, and the fastball misses high, and it's 3-2. So that'll be a stolen base, as I think maybe the Heat's dugout is being a little bit sarcastic there, as they're excited that they did steal bag here, even though they trail 9-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. Full count here for Ryan Romero, who walked the first hitter he saw, doesn't want to walk the second hitter. Romero getting a quick hook on Monday against the Buccaneers, and this one misses high and in, so now 2 walks here for Ryan Romero. First 2 hitters he faces are walked. And here comes Josh Alonso. Alonso is 1 for 1 and singled. One of 5 Peru State players on this High Desert Heat baseball team. Dylan Lowenstein went out to the mound, maybe just to settle down Romero a bit after walking the first 2. Of course, in this situation, when you're up by 9 runs, obviously you're going to get the chance to finish it out, as this one is bunted foul down the first base line, 0-1 the count. And when I mean finish it out, I mean, finish the inning regardless of what happens, you would think, for the most part, unless the Heat send up 13 consecutive batters and have 7 consecutive hits and another 3 after that and score 9 runs. Fastball called a strike. Well, offensive fireworks really broke out in that first inning. 10 hits, 9 runs, couple errors. This fastball misses outside for a ball. Here's the pitch, and this one is lined up the middle over towards the shortstop, Espinosa. He flips to second, and they turn 2. And now a throw down to third base, but not in time. So Channing Varela turning 2 over to Morabito. Chavez now on third base. But they did get the 6-4-3 double play there. So there's 2 away here in the 3rd inning, and Ronnie Leon at the plate. Leon is 0 for 1. Of Grounded out to the pitcher. In the first game, he was 2 for 4 and scored one of the 2 runs for the Heat. Fastball swung and fouled out of play down the third base line, 0-1 the count. Well, for the Heat, I'm sure they're just hoping to get 1 run on the board here if they can, with 2 down in the 3rd inning. Well, this is the heart of the order for the Heat. The number 3 hitter, Ronnie Leon, and then should he get a hit or get on base, Sergio Lujan, and then Sean Smith, the number 5 hitter. Romero fires, fastball swung on. It's a towering fly ball to left field, hit pretty much right at Reynoso. Reynoso maybe going a few steps back and then a few steps to his left, but makes the routine grab out there. And so that'll do it after 2.5 innings. The score remains 9-0. Pirates on top of the Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Well, Dale Gardner, the home plate umpire, seems to be having a good time here today and just kind of joking around with us and telling us basically that his name is Plate Blue Umpire. First name Plate, middle name Blue, last name Umpire. But then finally conceding that his actual name is Dale Gardner. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1 by Matt Reynoso, who was leading off here in the 3rd inning. Swings at this one. It's a fly ball. Will it stay playable? It's definitely in foul territory, but it makes its way out of play down the third base line. Well, Matt Reynoso now with his 3rd at-bat in the 3rd inning. That's how things have gone here today for the Pirates. In Game 2 of the doubleheader with a High Desert Heat, they lead 9-0. Still only the bottom of the 3rd inning. Fastball high for a ball. Quintana shaking his head. Maybe he didn't like how that felt, or maybe he just didn't like the fact that it was so high and out of the zone. 1-2 the count, though, here to Reynoso. I think he was trying to catch Reynoso swinging at something out of the zone, and this one is swung on and missed for strike 3. Down goes Reynoso here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So that'll be the first out here for the Pirates. Here comes Channing Varela. Channing Varela in the 1st inning was 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. How do you like that? I think a lot of players would take that for a game, and getting 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI. First pitch is a breaking pitch, low in the dirt. Ball 1, 1-0 the count here to Varela. Well, we mentioned it. The Heat pitched Josh Garcia in the 1st inning. Fastball on the outside corner called a strike. And Garcia, for whatever reason, just didn't have it today. Maybe he just knew that he was only pitching maybe 1 inning, so he didn't have the same intensity level. But the Pirates were absolutely lighting him up, to say the least. I mean, pretty much every hit that happened in the 7 in a row were line drive base hits. This one misses high and away for ball, and it's 3-1 to Varela. Or maybe a couple infield hits in there. And this breaking pitch is low for ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Channing Varela. So Varela, 3 plate appearances, and 3 times he reaches base. I mentioned he has a double, a single, and now a walk. Here comes Kyle Garlick. Garlick is 2 for 2 with a run scored. And Garlick swings a very, very good stick. And this is certainly a good matchup to watch right here in Quintana against Garlick. Pick-off throw over to first, keeping Varela kind of on his toes. Make sure he's paying attention in a 9-0 game as he slides headfirst back to the bag. Kyle Jackson is on deck, so Kyle Jackson will come in for Bryce Cherry. This pitch misses upstairs for a ball. Well, we heard Bryce Cherry had to leave early, so I assume this is where he's going to be leaving. And so I said to Charlie, well, then why wasn't he in the first game? And Charlie said he didn't know until in between games. Ground ball to the left side, hit to the third baseman. He fires to second, and they get the force out there as Garlick reaches on a fielder's choice. 5-4. And that's the second out here in the third inning. And here comes Kyle Jackson. So Bryce Cherry's day is done. He finishes 1 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. The 1 for 2 happened in the first inning alone. Kyle Jackson, he was an all-star last season in the SCCBL for the Pirates. Hit .340. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it back behind home plate, and it's 0-1. Of course, Kyle Jackson really enjoying his time out there in Palm Springs for the All-Star game, as did the other 4 All-Stars from the Pirates in 2013. Ground ball chopped high over to the third baseman, and he fires to second for yet another force out. But they tried to turn 2, and that was the third out of the inning, so maybe a little bit of lack of focus or concentration right there when you're losing by 9 runs in the third inning. Or maybe they just wanted to try to turn the double play for the fun of it, but they just needed the one, and they got that one, and it remains 9-0 at the end of 3. Welcome back to the top of 4 we go. First pitch is an off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to the cleanup hitter, Sergio Lujan, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Grounds this to the left side. Diving attempt made, blocking it, and throwing over to first is Anthony Virgin. What a great play made by Anthony Virgin. Well, we've mentioned throughout the course of this doubleheader that Lujan, if you're going to make a play like that, he's a good runner to throw out on a play like that, because he's certainly not the fastest of guys. But that doesn't diminish the effort that Virgin just did, laying out for it, diving for it, knocking it down, getting up quickly, and firing an absolute bullet over the first baseman, Alec Morabito, for the first out here. This pitch misses low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Sean Smith. Sean Smith is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. This one misses low. He's also 0 for 4 in game 1. High fly ball lifted into shallow center field. Charging in and calling for it is Jacob Bernardi, who makes the grab for the second out of the inning. So 2 away here in the 4th. We were wondering about this, but I wonder how far or how long Ryan Romero will go here today, because there are a number of other pitchers here that maybe want to see a little bit of playing time, as this fastball is on the outside corner for called strike 1 to Jack Collinsworth. Jack Collinsworth 0 for 1, grounded out to the first baseman. This one misses high for a ball. He plays for Indiana Wesleyan. Line drive into right field for a base hit by Jack. So the Heat get a runner here with 2 outs in the 4th inning. And up comes Curtis Cloak, the catcher, who will remove his protective gear on his legs and now head to the batter's box. Curtis has been struggling a little bit behind home plate, especially on the throws down to second base. Pickoff throw by Romero. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung and fouled out of play behind home plate, as a helicopter is flying directly above our head right now here at Cal Poly Pomona. Great setting for baseball. Obviously another really hot day in Pomona. It was definitely super hot in the first game, so hot that our stream disconnected for 4 minutes because one of the wireless swung on and missed for a strike. One of the wireless internet connections we were using overheated and shut down, so we went to the second one, and that one has been working ever since. (9-0) the score, top of the fourth inning. Pirates on top of the Heat in an SCCBL matchup as this pitch misses low and away for ball. And it's 1-2. Romero working out of the stretch, fires outside for a ball. Heat hoping for a 2-out rally, maybe just to get one run, just want to get on the board. Runners off with a pitch, bounce to the left side over to Anthony Virgin, who retreats one step and now fires to Morabito in time to retire the hitter Curtis Cloak, who slams his helmet down the first base line. And that'll do it here for the fourth inning. At the end of 3.5, it remains 9-0. Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 4 we go. 9-0 the score. Pirates on top of the High Desert Heat. Pirates already taking game 1, 4-2. As the first pitch misses upstairs for ball 1 to Greg Espinosa. 1-0 the count to Greg, who is headed to Houston Baptist this fall. Fastball swung and fouled behind home plate. He'll be headed to Houston Baptist with his buddy Andrew Alvarez, both of whom played on the Orange Coast College team this past season that won a junior collegiate state championship. Fastball high and away for ball from Quintana. Well, I got to figure this obviously has to be so disappointing for the Heat. Line drive to the right side, straight at the first baseman Lujan, who makes the catch. So Greg Espinosa is retired for the first time in this game. He was previously 2 for 2. And here comes Johnny Reynosa. So Johnny Reynosa now entering for Anthony Virgin at the midway point in this game. Have a train honking its horn out there in center field. Train track does run pretty much right through the campus, or very close there by the campus here at Cal Poly Pomona. Swung on, towering fly ball to shallow center field. Actually, it's not even going to make it in the outfield. The catch is made on the infield dirt by the shortstop, Booman. So that's the second out here in the fourth inning. And here comes Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first, and reached on a fielder's choice back in the second. First pitch is called a strike, 0-1 the count to Jacob. Jacob hitting .238 as this one misses for a ball. 6 runs scored, 6 RBIs. 1-1 the count. On deck is Alec Morabito. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Called a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. In the hole is Dylan Lowenstein. And then back to the top of the lineup for the Pirates. Ground ball up the middle, and a nice backhanded grab by Quintana, who slings it over to first base and retires the side in order here in the fourth inning. So at the end of 4 innings, it remains 9-0. Pirates on top of the Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. As always, so glad you joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for this league matchup featuring the Pirates and Heat. First pitch misses for a ball from Ryan Romero. 1-0 the count to Johnny Lanter. Lanter's 0 for 1, flew out to the shortstop. This one's called a strike, and it's 1-1. So Ryan Romero in for his third inning of work here against the Heat as this pitch misses low, and it's 2-1. All of a sudden, a big wind gust. Maybe one of the only wind gusts we had here all year at Cal Poly Pomona. Although the trees in the outfield, they still look pretty stiff. Not really moving out there at all. Bouncer to the left side. Two-hopper. Blocking it is Reynoso. Now firing to first in time to complete the out is Johnny. So that is actually the second consecutive 5-3 put out. Of course, the first one was actually made by Anthony Version, who started the game. This one by Reynoso, who entered in the last half inning. Here comes Chavez. Chavez swings at the first pitch he sees and lifts it to the right side over towards Morabito, who makes the catch in fair territory, about a foot away from the foul line. And that'll be the second out. So one pitch and one out to that last hitter, Chavez, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. And here we come back to the top of the order. This is Mitchell Booman. He walked in his first plate appearance back in the third inning. Came in the second inning to replace Connor Garrison. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. In the first game today, Booman was 1 for 3. Struck out and also grounded out and had a single. Line drive down the left field line, foul. And I can't remember the last time Andrew Alvarez wasn't in the lineup. I'm just thinking about that right now as I see him standing in the dugout. Line drive up the middle, hit off the right hand, and now gets deflected to Channing Varela, who's deep in the hole and makes the play to first base. Wow, what a play there. First of all, you want to check on Ryan Romero's right hand since he deflected it with his pitching hand. Secondly, Varela catching the ball behind second base, backhands it, and throws a dart over to first to get the out. And so that'll do it here for the top half of the fifth. We are halfway through this baseball game. 9-0 the score, Pirates on top. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth inning in a 9-0 game. Yes, it is 9-0. Pirates lead the Heat. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate by Alec Morabito. Morabito is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored back in the first inning. If you're just joining us, you have missed a lot. Ground ball to the right side, hard hit, and gets past the second baseman for a base hit. That is the second of the day here for Morabito. And the leadoff man is on board with Dylan Lowenstein coming to the plate. Well, first of all, the first game obviously was a 4-2 ball game, where Fernando Escobar had 2 RBI and 2 runs scored, so contributing to all 4 runs. 2 RBIs, the 2 people that he hit in, well, actually, that was the same person, Jason Padlow. So those 2 guys contributing for all 4 runs that the Pirates had scored. Michael Koval, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, and then has 2 runs charged to him in the 7th inning, after he gave up a couple hits and Jordan Sheffs came in. He gave up another hit and actually threw a wild pitch, and that was the first way the run scored. Ground ball to the left side. Nice sidearm throw to second, so they get the force out there by the shortstop Booman. And Lowenstein reaches on the fielder's choice, 6-4. It's the first out here in the 5th inning. And back to the top of the lineup we go, and Matt Reynoso. Reynoso is 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the first inning. On deck is Channing Varela, who has yet to be retired today in 3 previous plate appearances. Quintana checking the runner at first and now firing over there to first base. Quintana's a guy who's been in the league for 3 years on 3 different teams. Another pickoff throw over there. First year competing for the Diamond Valley Sabres, which are now defunct. Second year, the Riverside Rebels, which are now defunct. And now the High Desert Heat. This one misses outside for a ball. Here's the pitch from Quintana. Fastball misses upstairs for another ball here to Matthew Reynoso. Quintana was a guy who was a junior collegiate All-American at San Bernardino Valley College and then went to Concordia University in Irvine. Swung on and missed by Reynoso. And his junior year, they went to the World Series. He was one of their top 2 pitchers over there. It looks like the reason Anthony Virgin's out is because he's banged up on the left wrist as this one misses, and it's 3-1. So hitter's pitch to come here for Reynoso against Quintana, who is one of the aces in this league. Fastball misses low, and that's ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Matt Reynoso, and there are now 2 men on base here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Channing Varela at the plate. We mentioned when he was on deck that he has yet to be retired. He had a single and scored in the first, and then he also had a double and scored, and had 2 RBI still in the first inning. So all that happened in the first inning. And then reaching on a walk in his last plate appearance. So 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and a walk for number 2. Checks his swing, and he held up. It's 1-0. On deck is Kyle Garlick. In the hole, Kyle Jackson. 2 Kyles batting back-to-back. Quintana comes set. Takes a long look at second and now fires home. A fastball that's grounded to the left side over to the shortstop Booman. Booman fires to second, and they complete the 6-4 3-inning ending double play here. And so that'll do it for the 5th inning. And at the end of 5, it remains 9-0. Pirates are leading the High Desert Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to Scalino's Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. It's the High Desert Heat and the Inland Valley Pirates doing battle. 9-0 score, shattered bat, but this is going to be a base hit here for Josh Alonzo. Getting some attaboys from the dugout over there down the third base line for the High Desert Heat. So a leadoff single here in the top of the 6th inning for the Heat. High Desert obviously trying to scrape together a few runs any way they can. We mentioned trailing 9-0. It's kind of hard to get back into the game altogether, but obviously don't want to be shut out. And here comes Ronnie Leon. Ronnie Leon's 0 for 2 in this game, but was 2 for 4 in game 1. And he takes outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Alonzo takes a small lead off of first base. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play behind home plate by Ronnie Leon. Well, for the Inland Valley Pirates, obviously, you go to 10-4 in league play, and you've put yourself in contention, maybe not just for a playoff spot in general, but for maybe first place. The runner's off, ground ball to the right side over to Channing Varela, and Varela, he bobbles it, and it goes into the outfield. And going all the way to third base is Josh Alonzo. So there's now runners on the corners here after the error by the second baseman, Varela. And here comes Sergio Lujan, the large right-handed hitter for the High Desert Heat. 0 for 2 in this game, struck out in the first and grounded out to the third baseman back in the 4th inning. In the first game, he was 1 for 4, doubled and scored. Grounds this one to the left side over the head of Johnny Reynoso, and in comes the first run of the day for the High Desert Heat as Alonzo comes home to score. And it's now 9-1. So an RBI single by Sergio Lujan. And here comes Sean Smith. Sean Smith is 0 for 2. and flew out to the center fielder both times, which is actually the position he plays as well. Sean Smith was 0 for 4 in the first game, so struggling here today against the Inland Valley Pirates. 0 for 6 altogether. Would love nothing more than to get a hit right here with a runner in scoring position, as the first pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Sean Smith. On second base is Ronnie Leon, who reached on the error by Varela. On first base is Sergio Lujan, who had the RBI single into left field. This pitch paints the black on the outside, called a strike to Sean Smith. Johnny Reynoso on that RBI single tried skying, but he was not going to get that high as the ball bounced about maybe 12 to 15 feet in the air. This one is on the outside corner, called a strike, and that'll be strike 2 here to Sean Smith. High Desert Heat trailing by 8 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. 9-1 the score, as this one misses high and in for a ball from Romero. Romero came in the 3rd inning, so he's now working in his 4th inning of relief here of Jordan Sheffs. Fastball low for ball. Of course, Ryan Romero is the pitcher of record now. You have to be in the 5th inning to be the pitcher of record. So even though Jordan Sheffs went the first 2 innings and he was winning, called strike 3 on the outside corner. And I don't think Sean Smith really liked that, as he kind of throws his bat up in the air and heads back to the dugout. That'll be the first out here in the 6th inning. 1 run scored, though, for the Heat. Alonso's scoring on an RBI single by Sergio Lujan. Still 2 men on base with 1 out in the 6th inning. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Jack Collinsworth. Collinsworth 1 for 2. Singled in the 4th, grounded out to the first baseman in the 2nd inning. Collinsworth, a returning player for the High Desert Heat, takes low for another ball. Well, it's got to be a good feeling to be in the dugout of the Pirates in the first base dugout. Meanwhile, for the Heat, line drive to the right side, and that is fair. That gets past the first baseman Morabito. Rounding 3rd and coming home to score is Ronnie Leon. And into 2nd with a stand-up double is Jack Collinsworth. And it's now 9-2 as the High Desert Heat are trying to come back in this game any way they possibly can. And we're going to have a mound visit from Charlie Reynoso, the manager of the Pirates. When you look at this High Desert Heat roster, it's a much improved roster from last season. You got pretty much all the best players from the Heat from last year, and all the best players from the Riverside Rebels as well, and then a couple other players that they've added. So this is really tough, and obviously they're still fighting here, getting 2 runs in the 6th inning as they trail 9-0, and off goes Ryan Romero. So Ryan Romero is pulled from this game after the High Desert Heat started catching up to him a bit here in the 6th inning and really started to diagnose his pitches properly. Blasting 3 hits. There was also the 1 error in this inning. And so Jack Johnson will be the new pitcher for the Inland Valley Pirates. We'll step away for a few short moments while he warms up and be right back with the rest of the 6th inning. And welcome back. Still in the top of the 6th inning. The High Desert Heat have scored 2 and closed the gap to a 7-run game. 9-2 is the score. Jack Johnson now on the mound in relief of Ryan Romero. The southpaw from UC Riverside. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. He inherits 2 runners in scoring position. Those 2 runners being Sergio Lujan, who had the RBI single, and Jack Collinsworth, who had the RBI double. So the Heat hoping to get a couple more runs here as this one misses outside. And there's starting to be some chatter from that dugout. Jack Collinsworth so far this season in 17 innings has 24 strikeouts. 1-2 record and 1 save, 3.17 ERA. This one misses again for a ball. as Jack Johnson kind of shakes it out a little bit here for the Pirates. 3-0 the count. Maybe not exactly what Charlie Reynoso wanted to see when he went to the pitching change. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk drawn here. So now the High Desert Heat have the bases loaded. All of a sudden, they're trailing by 7, but if you can get a hit here, just continue to chip away at the lead. Obviously, starting to feel a bit better about themselves when scoring the 2 runs. Here's Johnny Lanter. Lanter's 0 for 2. Flew out to the shortstop and grounded out to the third baseman. First pitch to him is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Jack Johnson, 6'0", 190-pound left-handed pitcher. Hometown is Riverside and went to J.W. North High School, where he won a CIF championship. This one misses high and away for ball. En route to winning that CIF championship, Jack Johnson tossed a one-hitter against Jay Serra, which he still says is his most memorable moment in baseball, doing that in the CIF playoffs. Line drive into left center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. In comes 1 run, and that's it. They're only going to get 1 run on that single by Johnny Lanter. So the Heat now have 3 runs in this inning. And still only 1 out. Wonder if there's maybe a little bit of worry in the Pirates dugout as Charlie Reynoso is pacing a bit. His team's still ahead, though, 9-3. Still a 6-run game, but the bases are loaded. And here is Chavez, the number 9 hitter, swinging and missing at the first pitch he sees. 0-1 the count. Jack Johnson, another thing he's thrilled to do is be the first member of his family to go to college. Here's the pitch. Nice slider in there for a strike. When you think of somebody that's the first in his family to go to college, when I tell you what his major is, you probably would be surprised. His major is bioengineering. Very, very intelligent young man, number 26. This one is bounced back to Johnson. Johnson will look at home but throw to first and just get the given out there at first as another run comes home to score, and it's now 9-4. It's a fielder's choice, or actually it's not a fielder's choice. It's a 1-3 put out there by Jack Johnson. So that's the second out here in the 6th inning. But the Heat getting back into this game. Still 2 runners in scoring position. That would be Johnny Lanter over at second, who had the RBI single. First pitch misses for a ball, and it's 1-0. And now the Heat are back at the top of the lineup. And now they are back with Mitchell Booman, who is 0 for 1 in this game. Grounded out into a... Actually, that wasn't a double play. It was hit off the right hand of Ryan Romero. So it was a 1-4-3 just out, and not a 1-4-3 double play. This one misses outside for a ball. Garrison replaced... Booman actually replaced Garrison, I should say, in this game. Well, very quietly, the High Desert Heat hitting through the lineup. This is the 9th man to come up in this inning. Ground ball to the right side, to Hopper, over to the second baseman, Varela, who fires in time to retire the side. But the High Desert Heat get back into this game, scoring 4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. They trail by 5. 9-4 the score. Pirates on top as we head to the bottom of the 6th here on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dave Silbera on the play-by-play on InlandValleyBaseball.com. So glad you have joined us for both games of this doubleheader. Score of Game 2, 9-4. First pitch is swung, and it's a towering fly ball to right center field by Kyle Garlick. And shading their eyes are the center fielder and the right fielder. Lanter is the one who ends up making the catch. Center fielder is now Caden Glass, who came in for Sean Smith. Caden Glass, of course, the co-hitter of the week in the SCCBL. Here's Kyle Jackson. He takes ball 1 low. It was a fastball, 1-0 the count. On deck is Greg Espinosa. Swings at this one and fouls it out of play behind home plate and into the adjacent parking lot right there for the students here at Cal Poly Pomona. Here's the 1-1 offering from Quintana, bounced up the middle, and will that get through? No, it won't get through, as charging and making a backhanded attempt was the second baseman, Chavez, and he couldn't handle it, and so that'll be an error. So Kyle Jackson reaching there on the error, and up comes Greg Espinosa. Was kind of a tough play to make for Chavez, who had to charge on a slow, high chopper, but a play that figure that you got to make at the collegiate level. Fastball high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Greg Espinosa. Greg Espinosa is leading the team in runs scored and added yet another one here today. 13 runs scored on the season for number 4. This one's called a strike to Greg Espinosa as Adam Quintana continues to deal. Quintana came in the second inning. And believe it or not, if you're just joining us, all 9 Pirate runs were scored in the first inning. Pirates had 7 consecutive base hits, as this one misses low, and it's 2-1 here to Espinosa. 7 consecutive hits, 10 hits overall in the first inning, and 2 errors on the Heat. And they plated 9 runs. Says a lot about the Heat, though, and how they have fought back to make this somewhat of a game. It's 9-4, as this one misses upstairs for ball. And really, when you think about it, they're down by 5. If they could score a couple in the next inning, they'd put themselves right back in the game. This one's lined into center field, charging his glass, and he'll make the catch for the second out here in the 6th inning. Here comes Johnny Reynoso. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Flew out to the shortstop. The first game, Johnny Reynoso was 2 for 4. Had an RBI single in the 4th inning. Also had a single in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to Johnny. Well, Reynoso came in for Anthony Virgin. It looked like was banged up a little bit. His left wrist was being iced. Here's the pitch, and it misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Throw down to second base will not get there, and goes into center field. And actually, the ball came, the base, I should say, came a little bit dislodged as Kyle Jackson slid in head first over there. Johnny Reynoso remains at the plate. On deck is Jacob Bernardi and then Alec Morabito. So the next couple guys get on base. 1-1 is the count. Quintana checks the runner at second. Nobody holding him on. He checks back again and now fires home a fastball on the outside corner called strike 2, and it's 1-2. This is about the time of day where the sun starts becoming a factor for players on the left side of the field. You can see the third baseman, Ronnie Leon, shielding his eyes with his glove. Comes a problem for the shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder. This one swung on a missed, and down goes Reynoso on a strikeout. And so that'll do it here for the 6th inning. At the end of 6, it remains a 9-4 ball game. The Pirates are on top of the Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 7 we go. 9-4 the score. Pirates on top of the Heat. Jack Johnson remains on the mound for Inland Valley as the first pitch misses upstairs for ball 1 to Alonso. Alonso is 2 for 3. A couple singles and a run scored back in the 6th inning. It was a 4-run 6th inning for the Heat as this pitch is called a strike. But there was also a 9-run first inning for the Pirates. The Heat still trying to chip away at the lead if they can, as this pitch misses low on an off-speed pitch for a ball. Still with 3 at-bats left for the Heat. Fastball paints the black on the outside corner, called strike 2 to Alonso. Here's the pitch from the southpaw. And it's grounded to the right side over towards the charging Varela. Varela fires sidearm in time to retire Alonso for the first out here in the 7th inning. So 1 up and 1 down for the Pirates. Josh Johnson, his favorite team is the Dodgers. As a left-handed pitcher, knowing that his favorite team is the Dodgers, his favorite 2 players of all time, Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw. Here's Ronnie Leon. He takes strike 1, and it's 0-1 to him. Leon is 0 for 3, but did reach on an error by the second baseman Varela back in the 6th inning and wound up scoring the Heat's 2nd run of the game. Fastball high and away for a ball, and it's 1-1 to number 1-1. Here's the pitch from Johnson, swung on. Fly ball down the first base line. Will it be playable for Morabito? Yes, it stays in play. It was still foul, but it was playable. And he makes the catch for the 2nd out here. So 2 down, top of the 7th inning. And up comes Sergio Lujan with Caden Glass on deck. Glass was named the SCCBL co-hitter of the week. Slider misses outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. The player he was named co-hitter of the week with was Kevin Riley of the Inland Valley Buccaneers. This one misses outside, and it's 2-0. Speaking of the Buccaneers, they also had the pitcher of the week, and Chris Sanchez, who went 10 1/3, 1-0. And 12 strikeouts, only 1 earned run for the week. Jack Johnson nods his head in approval of Lowenstein's signs, but fires outside, and that's a 4-pitch walk drawn here by Sergio Lujan, and up comes Caden Glass. So Caden Glass getting his first at-bat here in Game 2. In Game 1, he was 0 for 4. So hoping to get his first hit of the day. Another slider, backdoor variety in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Caden Glass. Glass, one of the 4 or 5 players on this team from Peru State. Swings at this one and fouls it down the third base line, and it's 0-2. And that's something that today he's just fallen behind the counts a lot. And that's kind of what happens when you face good pitching. If you got the pitchers throwing strikes. It's always hard when you're facing an 0-2 count all the time because the pitcher can do so many things to retire you, and down goes Caden Glass swinging. So that'll be a strikeout and the final out of the inning here. And it's time to stretch for the 2nd time today as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. In a 9-4 ball game, Pirates are leading on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 7 we go. Dave Silvera on the play-by-play here for Inland Valley Baseball. 9-4 the score. Pirates on top of the Heat. We do have a new pitcher. That is Tyler Rich. So the day is over for Adam Quintana, who went 5 innings, 5 scoreless innings for the Heat. But before he came in the first inning, the Pirates got 9 runs. Like, and here's the pitch. First pitch swung on, towering fly ball to center field, straight at Caden Glass, who will make the catch for the first out here in the inning. Tyler Rich is 5'9", 175, right-handed pitcher from Colorado State Pueblo. He also went to San Bernardino Valley College before that. Hometown is Colton and went to Colton High School. Here's Alec Morabito. He takes a low for ball 1, 1-0 the count to him. He's 2 for 3 in this game. singled in the 5th, and also singled and scored in the 1st and struck out in the 2nd. Breaking pitch in the dirt, 2-0 the count here. Here's a pitch from Rich, fastball on the outside, called a strike, 2-1 the count to number 2-1, Alec Morabito. I think they were jokingly calling him, since his number is 21 earlier in the season, instead just call him Blackjack, and Blackjack hits a line drive in the left center. That's his 3rd base hit of the game. So Morabito with another hit. And here comes Dylan Lowenstein, the catcher. Lowenstein has reached on an error and a fielder's choice, but is 0 for 3. Then we'll be back at the top of the lineup and Matthew Reynoso after Dylan Lowenstein's at-bat. Rich checks the runner at first, comes home, swung and fouled behind home plate, 0-1 the count to Dylan Lowenstein. Lowenstein, the right-handed hitter from Mount Sac, where he will be a sophomore next season. Really great facilities over there at Mount Sac. Mount San Antonio College. They call it Mount Sac. Breaking pitch at low for a ball. Throw down to second base, not in time. That'll be a stolen base right there for Alec Morabito, his 2nd of the day. So Morabito still in a couple bags, as Lowenstein now has an opportunity with a runner in scoring position to get an RBI. 9-4 the score, bottom of the 7th inning. Pirates on top of the High Desert Heat. High Desert Heat at 3-6 in league play. If they lose this game, would fall to 3-7, and still 4 to play against the Power and 2 against the Bucks. Be very, very difficult to get back into the number 3 spot and make the playoffs. Fly ball to right field. It's going to be foul, but will the right fielder be able to make it in time? And no, he won't. Johnny Lanter sprinting hard, but just couldn't get there in time. Also sprinting hard was the second baseman Chavez. Pirates got their 9 runs in the 1st inning on 10 hits and 2 errors. Then the Heat responded back in the 6th inning with 4 runs, but it's still a 5-run game. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Dylan Lowenstein. And he hits a high fly ball to shallow left field. Charging in is the left fielder, and making the catch is Alonzo for the 2nd out here in the 7th inning. So a couple of fly ball outs to the outfield for Tyler Rich. And in between that was the single by Alec Morabito. Here's Reynoso. Reynoso stepping up to the plate for a 5th time here in the 7th inning. Of course, had 2 at-bats in the 1st inning when the Pirates sent up 13 hitters to the plate. Rich checks the runner at second. And this one misses high and away for ball 1 to Matthew Reynoso. Reynoso is 1 for 3, singled, stole base, and scored in the 1st inning. Also walked in the 5th. Here's the pitch. Line drive into right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Alec Morabito. And it's now 10-4. Pirates on top of the Heat, as time is called for by the second base umpire. So Matt Reynoso with the RBI single to right center field. And here comes Varela. Varela, 2 for 3. 2 runs scored and 2 RBI in this game. Also walked. So a very productive day out of the number 2 spot in the lineup for the Pirates. Lake again, here's the pitch, and this one is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. At the pitch that was right there at the knees to Channing Varela. Well, for the Pirates, they have 6 days off after today. And this is another pickoff throw that gets by the first baseman, Lujan, but it must have actually hit the right hand of Matthew Reynoso, who is hunched over holding that right wrist. And actually, it might have been Sergio Lujan who stepped on his hand over there at first base. Charlie Reynoso, Ryan Marcos, and Vic Espinosa all checking on Matthew Reynoso, who it looks like is going to come out right here. So Nolan Henley is going to enter at first base as a pinch runner, as he kind of loosens up his legs down the first base line. 10-4 the score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Pirates leading the Heat. We were talking about in this inning, Pirates getting 9 in the first, and the Heat getting 4 in the 6th. And now the Pirates getting 1 more here in the 7th. 1-1 the count to Channing Varela. And here is Nolan Henley now as the pinch runner taking his lead. He's definitely a speed demon. Ground ball, foul, down the third base line. 1-2 the count to Channing Varela. Of course, leading 10-4 in the 7th inning. You don't really figure to see Nolan Henley attempting to steal base here. He bluffs, actually, and is a breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball. So maybe Henley is thinking a bit about going. I remember he had a 2-game stretch where he had 3 or 4 stolen bags in those 2 days. Pitcher Rich took a long time right there. And the umpire called time before he threw it to the plate. So it remains 1-2 for Tyler Rich going against Channing Varela. Shade starting to set in a little bit. Swung on and missed, strike 3 for Varela. And that is the final out here of the 7th inning. Pirates do get 1 more run. And the new score is 10-4, Pirates on top of the Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And we'll head to the top of the 8th inning. 10-4 the score. Jack Johnson still on the mound for the Pirates. This first pitch is low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here. Late kicking, here's the pitch. And this one is in there for a strike to Jack Collinsworth. Collinsworth 2 for 3. Had an RBI double and also scored back in the 6th inning. Very productive inning for the Heat where they scored 4 runs, but the problem was the Pirates had already had 9. And then the Pirates tacking on 1 more in the last half inning, and it's 10-4. Swung on and missed by Collinsworth. And that was strike 2 right there. Here's the pitch. Slider that misses outside for a ball. And it's now a full count. So payoff pitch to come here for Jack Collinsworth. Going against Jack Johnson. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Collinsworth. So for the Inland Valley Pirates, you start thinking that at 10-4, with only 2 more games to play, both against Team San Diego on the last day of the regular season. Ground ball foul down the third base line, 0-1 the count here for Jack Johnson. You start thinking that you posted the number, you posted a 10-4 record for the Palm Springs Pirates to see Really, you would have hoped that it would be 11-3, as this one is swung and fouled out of play behind home plate, because the loss on Monday was what we thought was a major setback, losing to the Inland Valley Buccaneers, but they're a team that has played a lot better, as we mentioned. Just very surprising and stunning the way it happened to win 11-2, or in the Pirates' case, to lose 11-2 to a team that you'd already previously beaten 6 times, and it's 0-2 here. So the reason we're mentioning this is because if they could have been 11-3, that would have put a lot of pressure on the Power next week, who play a bunch of league games. Slider misses outside for ball. In fact, they have 4 league games with the High Desert Heat starting next Friday. They'll play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then again on Wednesday of the following week. And this one was also way outside, and it looked like Jack Johnson kind of just lost the grip or the handle on that. And I think he doesn't like the baseball as he throws it back in the Lowenstein and asks for a new one. And now here comes another baseball that was fouled, as Jack Johnson is starting to figure out which baseball he wants here. A little bit bizarre. Here comes the full count offering from Jack Johnson, and it's grounded right back at him and up the middle. Making a sliding grab is Varela. Oh, and the play would have been made if the catch could have been made by Alec Morabito, who was kind of hunched over and now in a crouch down the first base line, as Channing Varela made a great play. I mean, I thought that ball was going to be up the middle for a base hit, and he makes a sliding grab backhanded and throws a strike to Morabito. But as we mentioned, then the runner gets on base here on the error by the first baseman. And here comes the line drive right back of Varela. Varela to first, and that'll be a 4-3 double play. That was Johnny Lanter at the plate there, who hit that 4-3 double play to end the inning. So at the end of 7.5 innings of play, it remains a 10-4 ball game. Pirates on top of the Heat. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 8 we go in a 10-4 ball game. Inland Valley Pirates on top of the High Desert Heat. Dave Subirani on the play-by-play, and want to thank everybody who has been listening to any part of both games of the doubleheader. We have 90 listeners here today, so that is a new record for Inland Valley Baseball. Typically we get about 50 to 60, but the 90 mark has been set as the new record. Maybe we'll get a few more for the last inning or so here, as the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses for ball 1 to Kyle Garlick. Tyler Rich still on the mound for the Heat. This is his second inning of relief. He came in for Adam Quintana, who replaced Josh Garcia. This is called a strike, and it's 1-1 here to Kyle Garlick. Garlick 2 for 4, 2 singles back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Line drive straight back from where it came from, as the pitcher has to go down to the ground and just trying to basically get out of the way of the baseball that was hit so hard by Garlick up the middle for his third base hit of the game. And here comes Kyle Jackson. Jackson is 0 for 2. Grounded out to the third baseman and reached on an error in the 6th inning and then stole second base. So the leadoff man on board for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 8th inning in the form of Kyle Garlick. Breaking pitch in there, strike 1, 0-1 the count. On deck is Greg Espinosa. In the hole, Johnny Reynoso. (10-4) the score, bottom of the 8th inning. Pirates on top. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung, a high fly ball lifted to deep center field. And making the catch out there is Caden Glass to retire Kyle Jackson. First out here in the 8th inning. Here comes Greg Espinosa. Espinosa is 2 for 4 with 1 RBI and 1 run scored. Greg Espinosa, of course, one of the 17 returning players on this Inland Valley Pirate roster. So actually more returning players than new players, but it's pretty much a dead even split. It's 17 and 16 for the Pirates. This pitch misses for a ball and is 1-0 here to Greg. Greg Espinosa, of course, his brother Grady was also on the team last year. His brother Grady played for San Francisco State. Greg will play for Houston Baptist. Fastball bounced to the right side. High chopper charging is the second baseman and making a nice flip throw over to second, but the ball was not caught by the shortstop. So Greg Espinosa reaches on a fielder's choice and error by the shortstop. It was a little bit of a crazy play, though, made by the second baseman Chavez because, I mean, at this stage, you're down by 6 runs. You want to just get the second out there at first, which would have been an easy out to make, as opposed to catching it, going to your left side and spinning around 180 and flipping it over to second base. But he wanted to get the leadoff runner, but he just couldn't, as this pitch is called a strike to Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso is 0 for 2 in this game. Had an RBI single up the middle in the last game, in Game 1. Pickoff throw over to second base, and they got him. Kyle Garlick is thrown out at second base. Picked off. I believe the second base umpire yelled, "He gone," really loud. Unless that was coming from the Heat dugout, but it sounded like it was coming from the field. We talk about the shade, and obviously the field is in shade now here as we get to 7:18 local time. And this pitch misses outside for a ball. Shade out in right field because of the adjacent school dormitories here at Cal Poly Pomona. Also shade because of the clubhouse here on the first base side. Here's the pitch. And it's called a strike on the outside corner to Johnny Reynoso. On deck is Jacob Bernardi. In the hole, Alec Morabito, who has 3 hits here today in this game. Yeah, I should specify in this game he has 3 hits because there have been 2 games today. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball. Good eye right there by number 5, Reynoso, showing good plate discipline. You look at this roster for the Pirates, and it's so deep. I mean, you throw out all these players in both games, and really it's been an entire new lineup in Game 2, and no drop-off at all. In fact, 10 runs scored. This one swung in line foul and out of play down the third base line by Reynoso. But if you look at the lineup, in the starting lineup of this game, there was literally only one guy who started in Game 1. Greg Espinosa off with the pitch, and the ball misses low and inside for a ball. So Espinosa now in scoring position for Johnny Reynoso. Reynoso maybe looking to take advantage of this opportunity to knock in his second run in the doubleheader. But this one misses high and away for ball 4. It looked like Johnny wasn't too pleased with that. He wanted to get a chance to hit with the runner in scoring position right there as he kind of tossed the bat away. And Alec Morabito will pick it up and bring it back into that first base dugout. So 2 men on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, 10-4 the score. Swung on and missed, strike 1 to Jacob Bernardi. 0-1 the count. Of course, Bernardi from Cal Poly Pomona here. Mentioned this, a number of Cal Poly Pomona players on this Inland Valley Pirate team. The number is now 8. I say now 8 because Kyle Garlick, as this one's called a strike and it's 0-2. Kyle Garlick, who just joined the team on Monday, will be a Cal Poly player next season, transferring from the University of Oregon. Here's the pitch. Bouncer up the middle, two-hopper over the shortstop who flips it to second base for the final out of the inning. So 6-4 if you're scoring at home. And at the end of 8 innings, it remains 10-4. Heat are trailing the Pirates here at Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. The High Desert Heat down to their final 3 outs here. As the number 9 hitter, Chavez, will step up to the plate. Then it'll be the top of the lineup and Mitchell Booman, and then Josh Alonso. 10-4 the score. Pirates leading the Heat. And we have a new pitcher, Andrew Alvarez, on the mound. He is the ace of the staff. Fastball on the outside, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. He has been named the SCCBL Pitcher of the Month by the people out in Palm Springs who make the decisions, as this one's low and away for a ball, and it's 1-1. Although it is a collaborative thing between Palm Springs and San Diego and High Desert and, of course, Inland Valley. Line drive in the center field, straight at the center fielder, Jacob Bernardi, who makes the catch. So the first man is retired here in the 9th inning, as Andrew Alvarez is looking to just get this 1 inning of work here under his belt and just kind of staying in shape and form here, as the Pirates are going to have 6 days off after today. Next game not until next Tuesday. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing, and it's ball 1 to Mitchell Booman. Mitchell Booman is 0 for 2. Also walked in the 3rd inning. Fastball low and away, ball 2, 2-0 the count here for Andrew Alvarez. Well, Andrew Alvarez, we talk about his stuff, great stuff. Also a great hitter as well, leading the team in batting average at .431. Called a strike right there on the outside corner. And you look at the pitching numbers, though, for Andrew Alvarez. 29 in the 3rd innings pitched, 4-0 record. Fly ball out in the right center field. That'll get down for a blue base hit there for Mitchell Booman. So Booman gets on board with 1 out in the 9th inning for the High Desert Heat. We're mentioning it, the 29 in the 3rd innings pitched, 27 strikeouts, nearly a strikeout per inning pitch for Alvarez. We talked about the 4-0 record. 1.53 ERA and a 0.99 whip. So allowing pretty much just 1 walk or hit per inning pitched, which is a very, very good number. Another fly ball to right field and foul. 0-1 the count here for Alonso. Alonso is 2 for 4 in this game. Singled and scored in the 6th inning. He was actually the man to lead off that big 4-run 6th for the High Desert Heat. Alvarez working from the stretch, called strike 2. And so now it's a 2-strike count here for Andrew. Of course, we just mentioned his stats here in the SCCBL this summer. Also getting word that most likely he's going to be the starting pitcher for the All-Star game. This one misses low and away for a ball. Well, number 19 certainly deserves to make the All-Star game as both a pitcher and a hitter. Lake again, here's the pitch. And this is a fly ball, foul, and out of play down the first base line. I guess that's the reason when I actually mentioned earlier in the game that it's not too often you don't see Andrew Alvarez in a lineup. And obviously he played in game 1, but the reason he wasn't in the lineup was because he was supposed to play in this game as a pitcher. Ball misses low. And pretty much, I guess, after the fact where the Heat were trailing 9-0 after 1 inning, that basically Charlie Reynosa decided that he didn't want to expend Alvarez when he didn't really need to use him. Blown by the hitter, strike 3, down goes Alonso. So that is strikeout number 28 on the season for Andrew Alvarez. And here comes the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Ronnie Leon. Leon 0 for 4 in the game. Did reach on an error in the 6th inning and scored. Pirates down to one more out to go here for a doubleheader sweep over the High Desert Heat. A doubleheader sweep that will really, really kill the Heat in the SCCBL standings. First pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here to Leon. But like I said, they still have a chance. I mean, they're going to be 3-7 after losing this game, but they still have 6 games to play. Now 4 of them against the Power, so you have to hope to at least split with the Power. Fouled back in his 0-2. If you split with the Power, at that point you are 5-9. So then at that point you think if you can sweep the Bucks and go 7-9, you might have a chance. If Team San Diego loses out, that is what you're going to have to bank on. Now, Team San Diego, they possibly could lose out. They have 3 against the Power and 2 against the Pirates. So it's not out of the realm of possibility if you're the High Desert Heat, if you could maybe split with the Power and then win the 2 games against the Bucks, that you could still wind up in the number 3 spot. Of course, the Heat are thinking that they want to win all 4 in Palm Springs, as well as the 2 with the Bucks. The runner's off, swung on and missed, strike 3. And so down goes Ronnie Leon. It won't matter that the runner was running on the pitch because that is the second strikeout for Alvarez. And the side is retired here. And that will do it for our doubleheader. The first game was a 4-2 final that really, the players that shined in that game was Fernando Escobar, who had 2 runs scored and 2 RBI. And, of course, the starting pitcher, Michael Koval, 6 1/3, 12 strikeouts. Unbelievable performance. Topping his last performance, actually, where he went 5 1/3 and 10 strikeouts. And the Pirates will all kind of high-five and shake hands at the mound after a job well done on a sweep. And the team now improves to 19-5 overall. And more importantly, 10-4 in league play. So a great, great game for the Pirates, of course. It was a 9-run first inning, and they end up winning 10-4 in this game. We'll just recap the first inning very quickly before we sign off. So in that first inning, 7 consecutive hits. Channing Varela, single, and then he ended up scoring. Kyle Garlick singles and scores. Bryce Cherry, RBI single and scores. Greg Espinosa, RBI single and scores. Anthony Virgin, RBI double. Jacob Bernardi, single and scores. Alec Morabito, RBI single and scores. Dylan Lowenstein reaches on an error and scores. Matt Reynoso singles and scores. Channing Varela, 2-run double and scores. And Kyle Garlick ends it with a single for good measure. So 10 hits in the inning, 2 errors, 9 runs. You will not see many innings like that throughout the rest of the season in the SCCBL, but obviously a great, great inning for the Pirates, and they have really, really put a big hurt on the High Desert Heat's chances of making the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Pirates have clinched a playoff spot already at 10-4. In fact, I think they have already at least clinched the number 2 spot and to host the 2-3 play-in game at this point, because if you look at the records, yes, they have. Their record is 10-4, and there's no way anybody else can catch up to them. In the fact that the Buccaneers and the Heat cannot catch up to them, so they've clinched the playoff spot. San Diego still only has 5 losses, actually, so you just have to split with San Diego, and that will be the clincher. Of course, San Diego has 3 games with the Power before that, so the clinching might already be done out in Palm Springs or San Diego next week when they play. Of course, this is Dave Soberi, as always, calling all the Inland Valley baseball games. Thank you for listening to both games of the doubleheader. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you enjoyed the opportunity just to be listening to us. We had 97 views today. I was trying to make it go a little bit longer there to get to the 100 mark, but it looks like we're going to fall just short of that goal that I had set out when I saw that we had 90 views back in the 8th inning. But once again, we really appreciate it because that means that you are taking advantage of the broadcast and you are listening, and we really appreciate that, as we were mentioning. And we'll just give you a little score update out in Palm Springs. The Power up 2-1 before we sign off. Dave Sobera reminding you the final score in Game 1, 4-2. The Pirates win. And in Game 2, I think I just said Game 1. Game 1, the Pirates win 4-2. And Game 2, the Pirates win 10-4. We'll see you next time.